Quick market update. Let's get straight into it. Do not place a trade based on what you're seeing in this video today, because trading is risky and it can cause substantial financial loss. There are so many areas you need to become good at to become a good trader. Emotional mastery, chart reading, trading systems, money and trade management. So this video is just educational only to help you become a much better trader. Alright, let's make a quick market update for you. Today we're going to look at the Dow Jones, we're going to look at the Russell, Nasdaq, and also the S&P. Plus also I'm going to share some things with you, what I'm looking at, silver and gold. And why do I look at SLV, where I can trade a silver stock, where silver stocks are up 7%, down 7%, and so on and so forth. It's just my preference. Obviously, you can trade silver stocks. I do trade silver stocks. I trade gold stocks. I trade a lot of stocks. But for me, my preferences is that I actually like to trade. Let me turn this thing down. I actually like to trade the overall market. So, just like to trade all the markets. So it's a preference for me of what I like. So first, let's bring up the daily chart and show you what I see here. Dow Jones Industrial Average. We can see very little volume yesterday. Very little volume followed this down day here. We are at this overall level of support here, and we're still holding this level of just major support through here. So we definitely want to see, I think if we do see a breakdown, or when we see a breakdown, I believe, when we see that, I think we're likely to see a big move. So from there to there, we're likely to see probably a good 2 or 3% down day on the Dow Jones. Looking on through to the S&P, same thing. The volume today was actually quite small. I actually thought we're getting a lot more decent volume out of that, but we didn't. So you can see the S&P 500 again is showing that head and shoulders. It's really at that support level now, at that sort of neckline as well too. It's still holding that level, that whole level there. It's just holding it. When it does break, we're going to break it hard and we're going to run. Same for the S&P, same for the basically the Russell. The Russell's down here at this support level. Once it breaks, we're likely to run really quickly, probably a good 2 or 3% down day. Bam, that's what's going to happen. So once we break that, that's what we're likely to see. Moving on through the Nasdaq. The Nasdaq actually had the biggest volume. The Nasdaq actually had the biggest volume. A bit of a sideways sort of pattern through here. But once again, we're actually at a big level of support level on the Nasdaq. And if I show you that level, let me just squeeze this up through here, and I get my little trendline drawing tools. You can see that this whole level through there, and maybe even back through here somewhere. No, nothing through there, so don't worry about that. But basically those 2 points through there and that point through there, you can see it's bouncing off there. Once it breaks that level through there, then we'll see a big move to the downside, moving on through the Nasdaq. So, but that's what I do see there, guys. There's actually a lot more volume in the Nasdaq than any other area. Looking at the ETFs, the SPY, we actually had a lot of volume. Bit of a nothing day. On this SPY. Same with the S&P, but we had a lot more volume. But one thing I do see, guys, is I actually noticed that today, even though it was a bit of a nothing day, it opened there, it closed there, up sort of 0.03% or up 0.06 points. One thing that we are getting is we're getting lower highs on the day and lower lows on the day. So that means that means the overall major. You can see if I bring this chart up through here, you can see that the market is starting to get a lot more selling points. So that's the thing I'll be watching out for. So for me, you can see high, lower high on the day bar, and we have this obviously here, this point through here, and lower high and lower low. So a lower low. So we're actually overall, guys. We're actually pointing. We're actually pointing down when it comes to. Let me just do this tool. Yeah, so we're pointing overall down on this level through here, and we can actually see that's exactly what's actually happening when it comes to that. So that's what I do see there, guys, on the SPY, and the same for the Nasdaq as well too. That even though we had a bit of an up day and the volume actually wasn't that good either, one thing we do see is that this overall, we have this high, lower high, low, lower low, lower low. So overall, the sellers are still pushing this overall. They're still pushing it down. So that's exactly what I do see on the Dow Jones. Obviously the QQQ. And once again, guys, even with the QQQ, like I was saying before, you can see, and you can see it definitely on that whole level through there. Actually, you can see that point through there. So we're actually at a major support level. We can see this point here, almost there. Struggle through. This is a weekly chart, by the way, guys. Weekly chart. We can see we've had once. Oh, I need to mat that. My mat. Once, twice, 3, 4 times. So I think, guys, once we actually break this, then lows are going to happen really, really quickly. So I think that's the break. Once we get that break, guys, break of this support level through here, then the break is going to happen really, really quickly. So that's what I do see there, guys, and I believe it's going to happen real soon as well too. So hold on to your horses. Now, let me actually, that's the weekly chart there. Let me actually bring up a few charts here. I want to bring up SLV and GLD, and I want to talk about a few things here. SLV. Now, some of you guys have seen me talk about the SLV, and you've talked about the GLD, which is the silver and gold, and you've seen me talk about a few things here. And I've been saying I've been waiting for that perfect time to get into the markets. I've been waiting for that perfect time to enter back into SLV and GLD. The time hasn't been yet. I said that yesterday. I'm still waiting for confirmation, and the time hasn't been yet. Now, some of you guys have been hearing my analysis and hearing every other person out there talk about the silver and gold, and because you've been so influenced by silver and also GLD. Silver and GLD, you've just said, you know what, I'm just going to buy this because I think long term it's going to go up, so I'm just going to buy it now. And I think that's the wrong approach. See, you may have all these different people, all these talking heads, including myself. I'm a talking head, saying that they're giving their opinions, which that's what I'm doing right now. I'm just giving my opinion based on what I'm seeing on the charts. Now, the thing is that you can see all these different talking heads and all these different people out there, but you ultimately got to have some sort of system, some sort of reasoning for you getting into gold or getting into GLD or getting onto silver or SLV or a silver stock. You don't just buy a stock. You don't just buy something because you see all these other people out there doing it, and they're all saying this thing's going to go to the moon, or we're going to get new highs for the end of the year. So you better jump in now, because every time you do that, you're always wrong. You got to wait for good turning points. You got to wait for good timing points and good turning points in the markets. And you've got to have a good system for approach of actually doing that. Now, what is that for me? Now, I'll show you what I'm looking for. Firstly, I'm looking at GLD and I'm looking at SLV. I'm looking to re-enter back into this market, but the time is not right yet. Now, when will be the right time? Well, let me bring up SLV because that's the one that I'm going to be buying more of. I'm looking at SLV right now, and I was looking at the last couple of days. I think maybe this is the stochastics are down here. We're not getting much volume through here either. So the volume was sort of disheartening for me. The stochastics are down here. We're getting a bit of sideways movement. We weren't getting a lot of volume through here, so I want to see some volume spikes. You know what I mean? Like through here, we started to at least get. You can see that we actually started to get some good movement on the volume. So for me, volume is very, very crucial. That's the first thing I wanted to see. I want to see a bit more volume coming into it. The next thing I wanted to see is a decent pullback and then a nice good break out and break up bar. So again, what I'm saying, guys, is this. What I'm saying here is that if we have a look at all the people out there, if there's all these different people out there, you have people out there talking, and you have you. All right, you take everyone's opinion, and then if it meets your system or your approach, then this could be a really, really good thing. But if it doesn't, if you just go, I'm going to take these people and I'm going to buy something like SLV or GLD, then that's the wrong approach. You don't want to be doing that. You want to be taking people's opinion, but trade what the chart is showing you. I have done that mistake so many times in my career that I've lost count, where I've taken someone's opinion where everyone is talking about something, and that's generally the wrong time to buy. See, everyone right now recently is talking about gold and silver. Now, I like gold and silver, but I don't believe right now is the time to re-enter back into this. And I said that yesterday. I'm still waiting for a good time, and so I'm still waiting for that time, that turning point. So you don't just want to get into the markets based on what someone else says. You want to do something because you actually understand why you're getting into that market yourself, not just you think it's going to make new highs. Make sense? So what I'm about to show you, or what I was actually talking about before, is that what I look for in a system that's going to give me a good turning point, a good market to re-enter. So the first thing I'm looking for is some sort of break up. Okay, so this is my sort of rules. One, I'm looking for basically a break up. So some sort of nice good, you can see how we've got this some sort of resistance point through here, going through there, or some sort of nice breakout bar. That's the first thing. Second thing I'm looking for is to see the volume. Volume is definitely a big thing for me. Volume needs to be up. So you can see here the volume is actually quite low for me here. Therefore it was a no trade. So what do we have a breakout bar? No, we don't, right? So that's an X. Do we have a volume up? No, there's an X. So you can see here, right? You can see this last couple points through here, and you can see that these sort of bars through there equal that there. You can see if I draw a line straight down through there, you can see that's that volume spike there. That's that volume. You can see the volume started to come into this as this market was going through there. That's the next thing I want to say. The next thing I want to say, and this is more of a confirmation tool, doesn't have to always be, is what is my stochastics doing? What is my stochastics doing? You can see this point through here. You can see that point through there. With what was my stochastics doing? My stochastics were down, but they're over and they're already turning up, pointing to the high side. I'm looking for my stochastics to get down, turn up, and point to the high side. Once I get this stochastics obviously turning up like that, so they're all pointing up like that. So basically, do we actually have that right now? Well, we did yesterday, right? So we actually had a tick here. So if you just take these three basic rules, and look at that, for me, I had 2 X's and 1 tick. That means it's no. And by the way, this here takes 90% of my decisions. 90% of my decision, or actually 95%, and then sort of 5% is the stochastics. So for me, guys, when I'm actually looking to enter it back into SLV, I'm saying, yes, I believe SLV is about to spike and the economy is about to drop. And that's my opinion. And then how I trade that is what I'm telling you right now, is I'm stacking the odds in my favor. I'm looking for a breakout bar, and I'm looking for a good volume up, because if it does break out like it does here, then we're likely to go for another run like that. So I'd rather get in on this bar here on a breakout than try to pick the bottom. Do you know what I'm saying? So don't ever try to pick a bottom. Always wait for that breakout bar. So as again, when a breakout bar, do we have that? No. Do I have a volume up? No. So what I'm looking for now is maybe this is forming like a bit of a strong overall sort of bull flag for here, and maybe it's coming down through here. Once I get like a nice good breakout bar like that, and maybe the stochastics start turning up and I get a good volume spike through here, just for me it's just like above average volume, or just at least a good spike. If I get that, that's showing me now. That is now showing me that it's a good time to re-enter back into the markets. Now again, there's no single one trade that's going to make you money. So this could be wrong. I may get into here and it comes down through there. But guess what? Even if this trade stops me out through here, I'm okay with that. Why? Because money management. And you can see all these different things go into play of what becomes a good trader. People think that when everyone else is talking at something, that's the time to get in. It's actually the opposite. So for me, guys, I do believe I'm waiting for that breakout, that break up in SLV, and then I'm waiting for the turning point. Does that make sense? So that's what I want you guys to look at, and want you guys to think about as you're trading this. And we may even get a nice decent pullback back down to these support levels, and then a nice re-entry would be good out of that. So I don't know. We're going to wait and see, but I'm waiting for that breakout. Now, by looking at SLV right now, and as of today, you can see that it might be forming some sort of flag formation. You can see that's where you can see that the market's actually bounced off that quite some time, and obviously we've got this sort of flag formation down through here as well too, and obviously we've got the flag pole going up through there. So again, I'm waiting for a nice breakout, because overall on the weekly chart, guys, if I show you the weekly chart, overall on the weekly chart, I do see that that SLV is actually quite a good market to be in. But again, if it does come back down to these support levels, which is around $15-16, then I think that could be a nice little re-entry point that I'm looking for. So, but again, I want everything lined up as what I'm talking about. For GLD right now, what am I looking for on GLD? So with GLD, guys, what I'm looking for is I'm probably looking for a very, very similar setup that that I'm looking to re-enter in this. Now, it's hoping my software just loads up here quickly now. So, all right. So my software finally decided to start working. So, looking at this here, you can see, guys, that we had a lot of resistance and support going on through there. And we can also see, guys, if I just draw a trend line going up through there, that we're actually at that level of support right now. We've got a level through there. Plus also we've got a whole bunch of level of support and resistance going on through there as well too. So there's a couple, same for, I guess, like the silver, they're actually forming like a bit of a, and I'd have to say that it's probably going on through there. I'd say something through there. And then I'll draw this trend line down the bottom here as well too. So something like that. Maybe it's through there. So yeah. So there we go, guys. And you obviously got a big selling volume yesterday. So we may get a bit more follow through where we are right now. But that's where I'll like to draw the trends. The reason why, guys, is a bit of a tip from where I'm drawing trend lines and why I like to draw trend lines is I don't like to. On the weekly charts, I use the wicks. On the daily charts, I try to see how this sort of opened here, it closed there, sort of closed there, it sort of closed there, closed there. So for me, the closing prices is the most important thing. You know what I mean? So I use that high point through there, use that point through there. It almost closed through there, but it opened there. So if I wanted to redraw that trend line, let me just delete this here. I'm trying to connect the overall. I'm trying to connect the overall high. So let me actually my software's doing that thing again. Let me actually just open up this chart a lot more. And so I'm gonna basically connect the high up through here. So I'm gonna connect the high up through there. And what I'm going to do is my software is going bung on me again. Yep. All right, cool. Let me just do this here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect the high up through here, guys. And as I'm going to do is I'm going to connect the high up through there, and I'm going to extend this down, and I'm going to extend it to probably, let me go through, and I'd have to say not through there. Oh, there you go. My software's working now. Is it? Oh, cool. So I'd have to say, let's actually go through. We're going to use this sort of high point through here. Let's use the same high point. Now I'm going to draw this trend line through here. And as you can see, if I draw that trend line through there, you can see that if you're using this as a bar, or you're using this as a market, you see it open there. It couldn't close above it there. It couldn't close above it there. So can you see how that's actually a nice sort of create a parallel trend line out of that? And you can see if I just draw that trend line down through, say, to there, then that to me, or maybe even a bit higher, maybe through there somewhere around about there. So can you see how this is valuable, right? Because remember, the closing prices are the most important prices I've learned from my mentors. So for me, guys, what I'm looking at here, I'm looking at a high point here, a high point here, a high point here. I'm also looking at this closing bar here. This whole trend line coming down through here, the market could not close above it yet. So what does that tell me? So looking at silver, looking at gold, if I squeeze my chart up here, let's actually bring up, say, the 6 month view. Let's bring up a 3 month view. That's 1 month view, 3 month view. There we go. That's what I want. Just 3 months worth of here. You can see now, guys, what I've actually done is I've actually taken a few different ones. I actually have this line through here, that where the market couldn't close above, and I've got this line through here where the market couldn't close below yet. Anyway, so here's a few things that I'm watching out for in gold, because we don't know what's going to happen in the short term with gold. But this is how I narrow down my analysis. I'm actually doing live analysis right in front of you. So again, guys, remember that this line through here, we could not close above there, could not close above there, could not close above there. We could not close below there, could not close below, could not close below. So we're at that level now, right now. So are the two things that's going to happen now. Let me actually bring up, say, a green, and let me just bring up, say, a line here. So we're going to bring up a line, and you can see where we are right now. We're at these levels, and we're obviously at this level of support. So we're sort of X marks the spot with this support. Now, if this breaks down and closes below this level through here, then I believe on GLD we could see a lot more of a drop coming down to this level through here, which is around the $17 mark on GLD. maybe even lower as well too, maybe down as low as 16. So this whole area through here would be a target for me if it does break down on that. Now if it does hold here and sort of does this through one day and then does that the next day, breaks out like that, and then we get a good volume, guess what that's telling me now? That's telling me now we're getting ready to have a nice little pop to the high side, and away we go. So keep an eye out for that, guys, okay? There's a few things, and if you just use this basic analysis of what I'm talking about right now with the trend lines, the breakout bar, and the volume, guys, you know you're gonna do well in the markets if you just follow those simple steps on any market you trade. You know what I mean? Bring up the 3-month view. Just bring up the 3-month view. Do your trend lines like I've just done there, and I'll tell you right now, guys, you'll be very, very, very impressed and very surprised of how well it works. You can see how what I'm drawing through here, it all just makes sense. If we break out here where the market hasn't been able to break above, and we've been supporting it here and here and here and here, and if we break out, we've got a good volume above, especially if we get like if we get this stochastics down here, like that, and then suddenly we start to roll up like that and roll up like that. So that's basically what I do see on the market. So anyway, guys, I was actually thinking about doing a quick market update, but I went a bit longer because I wanted to share with you some analysis of how I view the market and how I give myself the odds on my side when I'm using a directional approach and when I'm doing this, you know, with all my charts and so on and so forth. Now, I obviously trade two different systems. I trade a directional system, meaning I'm trading a directional system, meaning I'm trying to get the direction either up or down. Or obviously I trade the WBS system where I don't really care where it goes. It can go up or down, and I'm still likely to do fine. And that's the two different systems I trade. So anyway, that's it for me, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll speak to you next time. Hey, it's John Howell here, and thanks so much for watching my video. You see, I'm putting out daily videos and education on helping you learning the art of successful trading. So click on the subscribe button to keep up to date with every video I do. Also, check out my story video, $250,000 in debt, cancer, overweight, family passing away, lived on the streets, and more, and how I overcome it and now thriving through my life. This is here to motivate you, so click on that image to watch my video. And lastly, if you're struggling with your trading, then you need to see my latest webinar where I'm sharing with you an amazing strategy that allows you to generate an income without getting the direction right. So click on that image on this page to register for my next free webinar. This is John Howell here. Remember, success can be yours if you go claim it. So step up, take massive action, and face your fears today.